We're still discussing this Omugwo, and one of the things I wanted to bring out was the fact that we are our environment. Because I didn't grow up ever seeing anybody, I'm going for anybody as a child. And when I even went to the US to live with my brother, his wife did everything. I was in the hospital when they gave birth to his first child. I was in the hospital when we came back, did the car seat, everything was in our house by ourselves. And yes, mommy came afterwards, but the truth is that there was a lot of things we had to do. So for me, it was my responsibility.
So you had no expectations?
So I didn't have an expectation for my in-law. If she couldn't come, she could be I was just, so I didn't think about, so it's based on how you see the world. And the point is that some people make it a big deal. Oh, my mother-in-law didn't show up. Oh my goodness, they hate me. Or this, what kind of wicked woman is this? So it's the narrative we put out there. Some people, yes, it's important because that's how you grew up, understood it. Others, it's not a big deal. If she's available, fine. If she's not available, fine. I can handle it. So it depends on the world.
What if you can't?
So you know, when you started, you said your environment shapes you. So with the Igbos, it's like a big thing.
It's a big deal.
Growing up in the North, it's every woman in your compound that is your Omugwo. Even if you don't have parents, you know that women will be there. The ones that will tell. Growing up as a child, I used to be so scared of having a baby because you hear a woman screaming, hey, hey. One kanjego is what we call it. They use some medicinal leaves in very hot water to massage the body. As children, we were just allowed to get the water to the pot, but we didn't know what was happening. But we were scared that once you have a baby, you're going to be screaming. But then my mom, because of her own experience with nursing, you know, it was much easier. And then the tying of the stomach was important. But also, I didn't have any expectations because it wasn't. And then when I even had like outsiders come in, I was uncomfortable. I didn't want anybody that was not my mom or my auntie or my immediate family to be touching my child. I felt I would stand over them, you know? So our environment definitely shapes us. But this is a cultural, like in Nigeria, it's an important part of bringing a child into the world. So that's why you have people who have the expectation think you're not doing the right thing. But today, here we are in 2024. I think the thinking should change. There's so many reasons why someone will not be able to show up for you. Either the person is not that
Davos for international world.
But I'll make the time.
It depends on the kind
I'll make the time. I would love to do it.
But Morayo, it will be worse. It will be worse
I want to hear you because you know you always have
your mother.
Let me take this call and I'll come back to you. I have a call from Abuja. Nima, thanks for calling. You're live.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, to the glory of God, my baby is 41 days today.
Your baby is 21 days?
41 days.
41 days, congratulations.
I never wanted anybody around me. Right from when I was pregnant. Not even my mother or my mother-in-law. I prepared myself. Whenever people come to my door, I don't even want to see you. Just send me a call. Just call. So when I had my baby at the hospital, I already hired the cleaners that will be helping me while at the hospital. I have a mother, but she's aging. My mother-in-law today are willing, but I never wanted. I've circumcised my baby. They will always call every day. How is your baby doing? That is what I want. I'm a researcher. I work 24 hours. If I had them around, they would tell me, go and sleep. You need to rest. But I needed my time because I have time free. And my baby is fine today. I have my sister that are returning from school during the Christmas break. So I already planned that they will be there for me. I have three of my brother-in-law, my other younger ones, and my own younger sister are coming from school. They can help and they are still here. So why should we stress people unnecessarily? And why should we always plan that people should be there for us? Plan for yourself. What if you are abroad? That was my...
Exactly. Thank you very much, Nima. Yes.
I was going to say, sorry, Nima, I was just going to say, there are some things that, some cultures here that I would have hated for my baby. So if anybody had come to do that, I would have driven them like...
I know what you're talking about.
There is the one that they use a sponge and they say the baby has body odor. And the poor baby will be screaming in pain. The baby that the kidney is soft, you will now use sponge, you will now scrub. Nobody could have done that to my child. Wait now. Nobody could have done that to my child. I will never, ever have accepted it. That's one. Two, there was one, she was our neighbor, because I used to stay, the one where they hold the baby upside down.
Shake the baby.
That's why we are all mad in Nigeria.
Yes.
They are very shake the baby upside down. So we don't have sense again.
Yes.
Look,
So
you are not meant to be held upside down.
No,
if you are meant to be held
especially a
upside down, you will be a bat. Bats are upside down, not human beings. One. Two. So the third one that they do is I've lost my train of. They shave the hair. They say the baby hair. Then they did it to my neighbor. You know, was saying 1,000, and they did it, and the poor baby had blood all over its head.
That's poor.
I know.
Muslims,
You know, they had used a blade to shave that part.
Properly.
And you know this thing.
Yeah.
You see, God that born us with hair on our head in this hot sun. You know, Oyibo babies, they don't have hair on their head.
Yes.
But African babies, most of them have hair because of the hot sun. So that our hair will block that.
the gestational.
that's the YK knows the intention.
You know that thing.
I don't know.
What's
It
it
doesn't
called?
close. I remember.
it doesn't close.
Yeah,
That's why
your
God
skull. That
put you with hair because of the hot sun, so that you will not be
Before I
mad.
come to him, I know Nima wants to say something. Nima, let me just share my own story of that thing you said. So I have a cousin. His name is my cousin in the US. My mother came to do Omugwo for them, and his wife is American, Yolanda, and she did all these things. She did all the scrubbing, and when she spanked the baby or something, or when she massaged the baby's body, did everything, and now did that upside down thing. Hey, Yolanda cried. She wanted to kill my baby. Yolanda was crying and screaming, you want to kill my baby? Me and I ran to the room, how is she killing your baby? What's going on? She also saw how my mom was, pulling the leg and tried to stretch out the leg with the oil.
Your mom didn't do that for you.
My mom didn't do that for me. You know me,
She was traumatized for that.
She did it for my older brothers, my mother, because she did it for me. By the time she got to me, I was tired.
Yeah.
So, but she did it for my brothers, so definitely all her children, she came for their Omugwo. But what I was trying to make is that she cried like a baby. And in fact, she almost called the police.
Wow.
That they're about to kill her baby. And we just have to try to reassure her that, no, that your son, that's how they did him also. Your husband. That's how they did all of us. That's how they did us. So we are alive.
So there are beautiful sides to our touching of the baby. And the sponge is not the hard one. They soak it overnight. You touch the baby, they sponge the baby. Just as your soft sponge. Yeah. I've seen it. When they finally did it to my daughter, I knew what to prepare. When my mother was asking where's the sponge, and they had not soaked it, like, no, we can't bathe the baby today. So tomorrow morning, we'll soak it. We will soak it with hot water. They will clean your baby. They will put palm oil all over your baby and black soap and clean up your baby. Nothing demonic about African.
I didn't say it was demonic.
No. I'm just saying because medically, I'm just trying to clarify. So medically, the throwing up and turning upside down is wrong. Okay. And then those mothers trying to know. Yes.
So traditionally, is it wrong?
Yes. Traditionally, they still do it. They justify it. Yes. So I didn't like it because I read too many books before I even got pregnant, talk less of to when I had a child. So I argued those stages, but I allowed them to do what they needed to do out of love. I just tried to lovingly understand. What I could not stand was I insisted on exclusive for my babies. And I did not understand our baby must drink water, So my mother-in-law would carry a bottle and say, this baby is thirsty. I said, how is the baby thirsty? There's enough water here. And me, I lactate a lot. If I have 10 babies, I can breastfeed them well without baby food for 6 months. So I wanted to continue feeding my baby, and they were, with my son, they'll say he's hungry. That's why he's crying. He's not hungry. He's probably, trying to bop and all of that. So I prepared, but I saw and I tried to understand the cultures as how they do them with love. What I would not allow. And you see the stretching of the bones for the baby.
Yeah.
When they bathe the baby.
Mom did that a lot.
Yes, take their hand back. I like that because you see the baby.
They break their bones.
They sleep like a...
My mom did it so gently.
There's
all the pressure points.
Some of them, they break their bones.
On top of the bone, the buttocks, where they will put those
two dimples. That's the way you follow.
There's a beauty to it.
Yes.
Yeah.
So let me take this
I would
call.
like someone who will do a documentary and beautifully cover all those things.
Yeah. I'll tell my mom. My mom is really good
out there.
Yeah.
Yes.
Let me take this call
yes,
from
really
Maria's calling from. Thanks for calling. You're live.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for calling.
I'm calling from Abuja.
Yes, you're live.
Yeah, I love this topic, Omugwo. I just want to share my little experience. Some ladies, they carry this Omugwo as if top of their head, that if nothing happens, there's nobody to take care of them. That is the end of the world. I want to share my experience with you, ladies. When I had my first baby, at the age of 22, I had my first baby. There was nobody to take care of me. Even my mother-in-law that came, she was old, so she could not even do anything. And my mother was very far; she could not come. So I look at the whole thing, and this is a baby that I had. I got married early at the age of 18, and this is a baby I had 4 years after marriage. It would have been a precious thing. And just to have people around. But when they were not there, what will I do? There was this particular day, the day I put to bed, I got home from the hospital. I look around for somebody to send to buy something from the next street. There was nobody. My mother-in-law was there. My husband was running up and down for one or two things. I looked and I needed this thing. I had to go out, step out of the gate. Immediately, my neighbors around saw me out. Why are you outside? I want to buy something. They said, do you think you are strong? They quickly grabbed, the women around quickly grabbed the money from me and say, oh, let me send their children to go. They sent their children to buy those things for me. And that was all. So what will I do? Will I now go inside and look at my mother-in-law and look at her as being useless? No. I just took it upon myself. Okay, let me just endure. After all, it cannot continue like that. But when I had my last baby, it was breast roses. Everybody, people were around me. Although it was through Operation CS, I had the baby and it was so. Ladies should be. At that time, there was money for me. I was able to pay some one or two people that would take care of me. So ladies should always, women should always know that people cannot be there for you at all times that you want it.
Thank you, Maria.
Please, that woman that was late. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Maria.
May I respond to Maria? So I'm happy that she was able to handle it herself. But I want to say that many women find it a very difficult and tough situation, especially the very first time. I'm happy that your story and Maria's story is a healthy one. I know someone who said she almost committed suicide with her child, as in murder-suicide, because she had no help. She had gone abroad, insisted. You know how Nigerians, we insist on doing some things because we feel that means you have arrived. She says she barely had any money, put them together so she could go abroad to have a child. And she was there. That was all the money she could afford for just her and to have the baby. And she had no help. She said one day she just put the baby in its pram and was just pushing. She said she was tired. She said, I was not sleeping, I was not eating, the baby was crying, I'm crying myself. There was nobody to turn to, and she just wanted to get on the road and the train. And they grabbed her, said someone saw her, knew like what she was doing, grabbed her, and they got social worker for her, someone to visit her. So if you are able to do it, it's good, but there are many women who are unable to. We've heard about the postpartum blues and things like that, even worse things than that. So yeah, they're serious. We definitely need a support system. And in discussing this Omugwo, I don't want us to demonize Omugwo. It's a beautiful thing about our culture. But I think, you know, the way Oyimbos do it, let's document it. Let's look for safer ways to do it. Let's encourage people who are strong enough and who have experience to do that. But let's not take Omugwo away.
Yeah, I don't think Omugwo should be taken away. Because I think that's the beautiful part of our culture is that you have somebody to help you. Even if it's your sister, even if it's help, there is somebody, because doing everything by yourself
it's not easy.
There's
this part that I think we should do away with. The compelling of one person, or the person compelling themselves to come when they know they're incapable. I appreciated my sister's mothers-in-laws, both of them, my elder sisters. When the first one to give birth, her mother-in-law she was too aged at the time. She was close to her 80s. Said, I'm too tired. We're for more. And as soon as my mother came, she said, thank you, help us. She owned up that, because my mom was far younger and, you know, more able. And she opened up. But the reverse is what I started seeing in other people, where you see somebody who can't, but insist on staying. It's my son's house. You stay, and then you put helpful. One of my friends, her experience was so nasty, terrible. I deliberately did not marry that particular tribe because of that thing. I saw it and it was too nasty. I was like, if this is how it is and it's compulsory in your culture, I don't want to experience it. So her mother-in-law showed up, insisted on staying, refused to help her, and then when she asked her mom to assist her, she walked her own mom out, insisted on staying, and the girl was still helpless. So as a friend, I would now be forced after lectures to show up and help her carry the baby. I'll be like, this thing is not easy. She'll be like, hey, it's my mother-in-law, I cannot do anything. There was a particular day we had to go and buy. She was so hungry, and I came in late. She was flashing my phone, and when I showed her, I have not eaten since morning. And the woman was inside the house. She was snacking. She was having fun. I was like, ask her for... She said, I can't ask her to cook. I was like, why will you have somebody that you can't ask for help at this time?
So I get that part. So for someone like me, just to make sure I put proper clarity into my proper perspective into my own story. So my mother did Omugwo for all my brothers, and I have lots of brothers and their wives. So they did that in their own time. And then I was young, I was a teenager. By the time I gave birth, obviously, she just felt like, listen, Auntie, I can't do this, but I can support you from afar. But my mother-in-law, on the other hand, even though she couldn't be with me physically, she would send food stuff. She would make sure I had, so when they come for the weekend, she would bring plenty food. So I had support. So I had aunties. Mrs. Adeshaka will come, bring pepper soup fish. We'll have one auntie. They'll just show up once in a while, bring stuff. So they're not living in my house to be carrying my baby, bathing my baby, but at least they come around. Cooking. I was not alone. And I wasn't by myself. And I wasn't cooking. I wasn't going to the kitchen to cook, but I had somebody who would be cooking for me. So there was that African culture support that I had that maybe my counterparts abroad may not have. So the point is that, aside from Omugwo, the point I wanted to make from sharing this example is that Omugwo is great, but there are some times where it might be...
punitive.
There's an abuse of Omugwo.
There's an abuse of that, but the point I was trying to make is that let us not make too much demand on what of Omugwo that is not possible. So sometimes you can give the 100%. Some people can't, and we must begin to understand where they are coming from. It's not because your mother-in-law hates you. There's some situations where they just cannot be there for you. Like
worse when they cannot honor.
So that's it.
What is worse is that you are there because of the show off. You want people to think you're taking care of your daughter,
but you're not doing anything.
But you're not doing anything.
Yeah,
and the poor girl, she will now, and you know, some women don't forget certain things and certain periods. When a woman is pregnant, when she's adjusting to motherhood, when she's just giving birth, anything that happened during that period can be so lifelong.
That's what I'm telling you about the apple my mother was eating.
You
I could never forget
this kind of thing online.
It was a green apple.
Yes.
It was a green apple. I know exactly where she sat. I know exactly.
Because you were in pain. So you now have this kind of tweets and messages that women will be writing online about mothers-in-laws. Whereas if I were a mother-in-law and I cannot show up for my daughter-in-law, she would know about it. If we need to hire someone, we will hire someone. If Igbo women in my neighborhood started doing that, I didn't even know they could hire a Omugwo woman. So they will hire someone who they will pay for that 3 months to take care, do everything the mother-in-law or mother would do. And the person will come and do it. And I'll be like, this person, she was, no, she was paid for it. I found that they were paying for Omugwo as well.
So when my mom couldn't come for my second birthday, she sent someone.
I think we should actually define the meaning of Omugwo. If Omugwo means to look after the mother and the child, and you know you can't do it, sit in your house.
Don't come. Thank you.
Don't go.
You're not feeling fine.
I think that the meaning, I don't know, I'm not Igbo, so I don't know the meaning of Omugwo. Maybe Obiajulu can tell us. If Omugwo means come and look after my child and me, and you can't do it, sit down in your house.
But
so that's what I want to say.
But my presence in your house can mean a lot. So, okay, fine. Imagine, let me hold brief for the woman who can't do anything. Okay. I can't cook because maybe I'm not a cooking person. But I am here. The fact that I'm here, I'm mother. When they bring something, I'm around. There's someone in the house. You can dash to the stores to go and buy something. I am here. That's what I can do.
Okay, so if you're in my house when I just have a baby, sorry, Miriam, and you're not moving, pulling your weight, I will hate you for so long. You will not know why. If you cannot come, don't help. Don't
appreciate my presence.
I will appreciate it.
Okay.
I need help. If you cannot end right, don't come and sit as a mirror or sit like a shelf in my house when I need that help.
Yeah, so I was going to say about people who have family who love them but cannot give the help. It's different from someone who comes in and makes it even more hard for you. So there's some people, and I think that's what we're discussing, where some people will come in and they expect you to... I have a personal story. I just don't want to say it because she will know it's her story and she'll be upset with me. But where someone has come in knowing that you've just had a baby, CS, and is expecting you to cook. To cook, to drop them off at the park, to do, do things that you're not expecting. So that's what we're talking about. So if you come in and you're unable to help, I can't bath the baby, but I can hold the baby while you go and have a bath. Well, no, that's not a bad thing.
I can change the baby's
I can change the diaper. We know that you're there, you are limited in some ways, but you're there to help. But we have people that are there to say, I'm in my son's house.
Demands,
Madam, this is my son's house. We are feeding you. Yes, we are feeding you. Exactly. Are you the first person to give birth? When I gave birth to your husband, it's my 6th child. I did it by myself. So lazy, there are some people that do that, and that's what we're talking about.
Let me take this call. I'll come to you. I think I have Yakub. Thanks for calling. You're live.
Yeah. Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
Good morning. This topic is very, very fantastic, and then it's also personal to me as well. This topic makes me to remember my mother, my late mother, and God, my Almighty, make her soul rest in perfect peace. Is it Morayo? See, this Omugwo of the thing. It is unfortunately that before I started married 20 years ago, my mother was no more. But experiencing it when my elderly brother married. Do you know what? For the past 6 months of my brother's wife delivered a baby then, when we are staying in Guinness Street here in Agege, my mother came all the way from the village. She always spent at least 6 months. Do you know what my mother always do? My mother does not even need anything from my brother or my wife's brother, anything. Whatever she needs to use, she will brought it from the village. For the past 6 months that will stay with us there, everything, you see, for the fact that she will cook, the kind of the aroma that will come, when you are coming to our house, you will feel like, who is cooking here? And then for my mother, the wife of my brother she will not do anything for the past 6 months. She will just, the only thing she do is to breastfeed, cooking, anything at all, anything you can think of. But by the time my mother is about to leave, to back to village, my wife's brother will be starting crying, saying, Mommy, are you going? I'm like, yes, after this one, I need to leave. So, Omugwo of 18, Megan does say something. If you know that you cannot do anything, please stay, don't come. Okay. Whoever wants to help a woman should be able to be around her because of that time. But when I started marrying, that is no more. In fact, me and my wife do Omugwo by ourselves. So the extent that in the midnight, when the baby begins to cry, my wife is saying, Alaji, Egbe Omo yi. Omo mi o le gbojo, Lord, told you how to sue me that. You know that kind of a thing.
Thank you very much, Yakub.
So what Yakub said brings another beautiful part of Omugwo, the connection between the in-laws, the daughter and mother-in-laws. You see that beauty of help that she gives to an appreciative mind might be what the girl would use to be indebted to you forever. Mother-in-laws should start to see it that way. There was this nasty experience when Miriam was sharing one that I remembered. So this mother-in-law lived somewhere in the southeast village, or Iloke, that kind of place. And she showed up when her daughter-in-law gave birth with 2 extra grandchildren. The daughter-in-law would bathe her baby and bathe 2 other grandchildren that are not her own. And food's supposed to be ready because those small children will start crying. The mother-in-law will not start saying, Shanti, have you cooked for them? Won't you cook for them? And the girl will be running mad. She'll be like, who will cook for me? I need help. And when the husband comes, she's called rude, disrespectful for having spoken back to his mother. Because there was a day there was a breaking point where there was the fight and flare. And I was trying to explain to the guy that you're such a mess as a human because you can't even put things together. You can't say that this woman needs help. Say, no, she's disrespectful because your mom is here, right here. So new children to somebody just adjusting to motherhood who has not had the child. Even somebody with a 3rd child will suffer with, very close children that she needs help. Why won't you see that? The beautiful part is what you do. I had a friend who used to have this hyperemesis during pregnancy. They lived in Warri. And her mom did not show up. Her own mother never knows how to show up. But you see, her mother-in-law, she was such a gift. And the girl was now getting pregnant back to back. When she was pregnant with her 4th child, the mother-in-law said to her, you want to kill me? I feel the need to care for you, but if you get pregnant again, then I will just say, Kuku, take my life. This one is just less than, it's not up to 2 years and you are pregnant again. That means I will not even have a life. Because the mother-in-law has to be with her throughout pregnancy and even after she has given birth. And she loves it. So she got easy. I said, Auntie, you were supposed to be planning life along.
My sister told me, this is the last one. After the second one, please, I'm done.
Don't try. So you need to be very close to, you will appreciate such help if you are.
I think that a lot of daughters, they take advantage of that.
Yes.
They have help.
And
so they keep on churning out the babies. Scum. I'm always warning my daughter, scum.
Enough.
Mama took care of that Femi's grandmother. She raised all Femi's siblings and himself. And then his sisters had kids way before he started having kids. And Mama was the person, they were shipping up all over the place. They were in Ireland, they were in US. They would be shouting. So Mama was traveling around taking care of children. And so when she now came to, now Femi finally had his own child, she was really, she was just pained that she couldn't. Said, I don't mind staying here, but I can't carry that baby. I will drop your baby. Because she was already in her 90s. So she knew that she would have issues carrying the baby. But I mean, so far, she's still around. So the point I was trying to make earlier was that, yes, mother-in-law cannot do some things, but their presence, yes, Momo can't do anything for me right now. But the fact that she's even in my house at all, for me, is value.
If you had a nanny, she would watch. should watch that nanny.
Yeah, so that's what the mother-in-laws who are incapacitated for whatever reason can do. They are watching the nanny who is bathing the children. They are there. They are
if you
visible.
don't have the nanny, she's there. You know, after 40 days, adjusting to my child by myself, there was a day I bathed my child and so passing through the lungs. I saw her and there was nobody. Imagine that I still have to go and take care of one body. Who will say, she's not giving my hot tea early morning. I won't appreciate that person. That's the honest truth. And I can only imagine how other women would feel. You know, I remember throwing my daughter and looking back, and when I noticed that I was alone, doing something about it by myself. But I would have loved that. The way my mom used to wake me up with the smell of fried plantain every morning, just because I gave birth.
I mean, that's all we can take on this, because we have to wrap up. But I think different strokes for different folks. People have, I mean, when I hear all these stories, they'll bring hot pepper soup. It was only my aunt, Miss Adeshok, that brought me fresh hot pepper soup.
Who tied your stomach for you? Every day.
My mom.
Did they tie your own stomach?
They tied my stomach.
I think my stomach, for Elizabeth's birth, was Auntie Yabo that she was with me. She stayed with me. But for the twins, I think I tied
my stomach.
I tied them myself.
They tied it for me.
See,
I got a girdle.
See, many years after, I think.
YK got a girdle.
I got a girdle. I got a girdle.
Cincha. For Imran's birth. YK was the one that got that thing.
Yeah. I got a girdle. I was in it myself.
It took 3 people to wear it for me.
Me was my younger sister tied me up every day. She would check it. I'm like, madam. So that's why after the second test,
I want to feed them. I'll carry one like this. I'll carry the other one like this.
Wow.
Put the head will be here.
Woman.
I'll just be like this. Just to carry. And Brown moved to a different. He just excused us. He moved to guest room. So he ran away practically. So the whole room was ours. I mean, so the bed, one crib here, one crib there. I'll be on the bed. And actually I liked it. I enjoyed it.
How much? So this brings us even conversation of maternity leave. Knowing what women go through at this period. That's 3 months. Is it 3 months?
Let us 3 months is too short. We have to wrap up. Yeah, take a few comments.
Immaculate Boy says, my brother's mother-in-law came for Omugwo since June. She has refused to go since baby has stopped exclusive. Please kindly tell my sister-in-law to tell her mom to go. I know she's watching. Biliki says, I like your suggestion that infant care, according to culture, be documented. The reason most youngsters these days wouldn't want it is because they knew some of the procedures is medically wrong, like putting the baby upside down, and that's scary. The general says, even a movie on Omugwo would be etched in our contemporary subconsciousness and expose the beautiful aspects. And our African culture is the right of women. It wasn't so comprehensive.
Benedicta Adeidon says, if a person did surgery, everyone thinks they need help. Until a woman gives birth naturally or by CS, then she's told to be strong. Oluwa Sheun says, my mother-in-law poured cold water on my baby. The way the baby responded got her so scared. She said, since then, she stopped. When they told me, I laughed. Babies are different.
Yeah. Okay, so the general says, please, we must not impose on our nature of not wanting Omugwo on those that want it. It is their right and by culture, and God, it is appropriate. As a lecturer, I get worried when I sense my students have body odor, and we know why. So I would like to find out the factual, medical, scientific. If you don't get that, what do you call it? Is it palm oil bath? And the sponge bath. Yeah, we need to find out if that
it's not scientific. I wasn't bathed with palm oil.
It's not scientific. I know someone who was thoroughly bathed with palm oil.
And she had
body odor. And then she had to seek medical help. And she didn't know she had some gestational deformity.
That is all we can take on this topic. I think in a nutshell, really, Omugwo is a beautiful culture that those of us that didn't experience it would have loved to have that kind of experience. But either way, if you are not one amongst those who got it, what we're trying to say here is that it's a beautiful culture that we should encourage, we should document, and you don't hate your loved ones if they are unable to do it for whatever reason. We just encourage each other to support each other. And let's not only wait for Omugwo for in-laws or mothers. It could be community, it could be aunties, it could be neighbors, it could be friends. Let's all support. Mothers need help when they just have children, and it's important for us to give support in whatever way we can find. Okay, let's go on a short break. When we have a very special guest. This special guest. Okay, yes. The special guest. I'm just checking. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.